Hi, welcome to web design video. This is a list of suggestions how you should use this video. The notes for this video can be found at this website. The URL is case sensitive. It is loaded here. Okay, I don't need a bootstrap anymore, so let's close this. So I just looking at my website, and I'm looking at the the index file we have just created. Okay, that's why we stopped. And the index file is in this folder, church32, and I also have our the index.psd file in the slicing 31 slicing folder. I should have, I have it opened, okay, which is here. If you don't have it open, all you need to do is go in there and open it, okay, the index.psd. But I have it open, and I have this file, this folder. Oh, I'm looking at the 32 now. Okay, the first thing we want to do is we want to log this so we don't accidentally go and mess up things. So we log this layer, and then I want to log the guide, so I don't want to accidentally go and mess up the guide. So I go to view, log the guides, because later I'm going to measure things. I'm going to check the size of the distances between things. I don't want to accidentally drag something. And then if you want, you can also log the log your slices. Okay, do not clear your slices. Log your slices so you don't accidentally mess up your slices. And then do a file save. Okay, so we have this. So the next step is we are actually going to code to change our index.html to make it look like this. Okay, in web browser, of course, not Photoshop. All right, we have our images, we have our bootstrap, we have our blank index.html file. So the next thing is we are going to code this. Okay, to code this, you can actually do it in Notepad++. It is perfectly fine. You can code it here. It will work. It's fine, but since we have been, since we have Photoshop, I'm going to use Dreamweaver to do this. But remember, if you do not have Dreamweaver, you can code the whole thing in Notepad++. That is perfectly fine. Okay. Before we even go on, remember we have a style.css file, which is an empty file. So come over here. Right now there's nothing there. So let's just create a new text document. Let's call it style.css. Okay, so that should link this with that. All right. And then the next thing we are going to do is we are going to launch Dreamweaver. I have my Dreamweaver launched, but let's close it and launch again. Launch your Dreamweaver. And we are going to create a new site, and we are going to point this site to church32 code HTML CSS. Okay, so we are going to say site, new site, browse, ctem, web design 2024, church32 code HTML CSS. I think I'm double clicking, so these are double clicks. Select folder, and I'm just going to call the site the same thing. Okay, so immediately you open up a blank HTML document. You have your HTML document here. You have your style.css. So double click on the index.html. Immediately you can see that you can go to the bootstrap min.css, which obviously it's a big mess there. You can go to the bundle min.js, which is all the JavaScript stuff, which you are not going to touch those, okay? Automatically they link it for you. And since in the source code of index.html, I'm doing a split view, as you can see. There's a link to style.css, which is the blank file we have just created. The style.css is actually here. Okay, obviously it's empty inside. So we can actually start coding, all right, here. All right, let's see the next step. So if you look at the output, so this is what we're looking at, and this is what we're trying to achieve. Okay, so in the index, the first thing we want to do is we want to give everything a background. Okay, so here I'm not going to type everything because that will take a long time. Okay, so I'm going to like copy and paste some of the stuff so you can type and see the effects. Okay, if I actually have to type all the text, it's going to be I'm going to spend a long time here. My videos will be huge. So the first thing I want to do is I'm still looking at a split view of my style.css. So I'm editing my style.css. I'm going to change the whole body of the page to a different font, change the font size, change the color of the font to something not so white, because white is too bright. You want to be easier for the eyes. The background color is what we did, similar to the standard ones we did. And then there's a background image to repeat. We are going to copy the background image later. So let's see what we have here. Control S to save. Come back here. Reload. Okay, so you change the background of the file. And remember, we were doing a design prototype, and we created a background PSD file, and we exported that background PSD file to Church 22 HTML with design images. And we put it in the images subfolder, which is the background.jpg. We're just going to copy that, put it into the Church 32 code HTML CSS images subfolder, put it there, right click, paste. So you have your background file here. And my in Dreamweaver, we're going to go to the subfolder images, pick up the background file, and repeat X. Reload. So you can see that there is a background on top here. Okay. So that is very similar to what we did the other time. Remember in Church 22, we actually did a simple file to show the client with a standard background and all that. Okay, that's what we did. So we did the same thing here. Okay, ready to go. So the next step we are going to do is we are going to actually go back to index. Here is the source code of index. And we are going to go to the body. If you look at the, we're going to code the body. If you look at the design, this is a simple, very typical design of this is a very typical design for typical HTML semantic tags. So to code this, probably you need the semantic tag header, and then the navigation, and then the main, and then the footer. Okay, so we can code that. And since I'm not doing a whole lot of work here, I can probably type it. Make sure that you're in index.html source code. And let's type header, navigation, main. Okay. And footer. As you can see, Dreamweaver give you autocomplete, so it actually save you a lot of time, say compared to doing this in Notepad++. Okay, but Notepad++ is perfectly fine. So as you can see, I'm in the split view on top. Dreamweaver try to show you what it looks like, but may not be very accurate. And below we type the code and design split view. Okay. Before I even move on, I want to do some validation. All right. Since you save your work, make sure you save your work. So now here you have two files, your index.html and style.css. Before I even move on, I want to validate this. So you go back to your website. Go to your W3C markup validator and do a validate by file upload. Browse for the index file, which is in ctem. ctem, web design 2024, church 32, index, check. They should give you no error. If you make an error sometime here, you make a mistake. You need to fix those errors, okay? The next thing I want to do is validate a CSS file. So you come over here, W3C CSS validator, file upload, same place, ctem, web design 24, church 32, style.css, check. You should have no error messages here. So you're good. So that's a good place to stop. And in the next video, we are going to put in the logo and all that. Okay. Again, the files are here. You can open this in Notepad++. Okay. And you can open this in Notepad++ as well. So if you don't like Dreamweaver, you can technically follow my video by coding here. The only difference is instead of switching between here, you switch between here, and you don't have autocomplete. You know, that's fine. So you don't actually need Dreamweaver for this exercise. But if you have Dreamweaver, great. Use Dreamweaver. It will help you to speed up things a little bit. Okay. All right. That's a good place to stop. In the next video, we are going to put in the pictures. That will be fun. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.